Okay, and welcome back, students taking the Math for Business and Applications, Math for Business and Finance, and the Math Applications. Right? And this should not, this should say Chapter 19 Summary Practice Test. I was thinking, this is Chapter 20. No, I was in between. I don't make these videos, just one right after the other. I might make a couple videos and then start working on the PowerPoint slides for the next chapter, and that's what went through my mind. But anyway, so we're looking at the summary practice test, and as you saw, if you did the drill problems and the word problems, relatively easy, relatively quickly. So let me see if I can't get through these in one video also. Okay. All right. Number one here. All right. Here's my pen. Get the pen. All right. So Carol Shan bought a new Apple iPod at Best Buy for $299. The price included a 5% sales tax. What was the sales tax and selling price before the tax? Okay, that problem was the identical to problem 19-15. So if you want to go back and watch that one, feel free. All right. So we have, remember, it's the total sales price, and we're dividing it by 1 plus the sales tax rate. Okay, so in this case it happens to be 1 plus 5% or 1.05. So our total sales price is $299 divided by 1.05, and we end up with an actual sale of $284.76. Okay, so that's my actual. And to get my sales tax, I'm going to take the $299 and subtract the $284.76, and that will give me $14.24 for my sales tax. Right now, just as a quick check, it just occurred to me, you want to check this out. You take your $284.76, and if you multiply it by the 5%, you should get $14.24 for sales tax. Right? And then add that to the $284.76. Of course, that should equal the $299. Okay. All right. Number two here, it says Jeff Jones bought a ring for $4,000 from Zales. He must pay a 7% sales tax and a 10% excise tax. Since the jeweler is shipping the ring, he must also pay a $30 shipping charge. And again, if you want to see, let's see here, let me look here real quick, 1919, that was very similar to the problem 19. This is similar to the problem 1919, so you want to go back and watch that one, feel free. Right, so it's asking what is the total purchase price. All right. Now remember, we don't pay tax on shipping. Okay, so if I have 7% for sales plus 10% for excise, that's 17%. And I take 4,000 times my 17%, which is 680. And since I add that, take my 4,000, add the 680, and add the 30, it gives me 4710. Okay. Now, for those, if you went back to 1919 and you saw me explain that problem, right? I gave half of a shortcut there, and I'm going to give the other half here. Okay. So we could have done this problem by taking the 4,000. Now we have an alternate. We have two different ways of doing this because it's just asking us for the total purchase price. You could do this problem several different ways. I can go and remember, we're only all we're concerned with is the total purchase price. So the way you do it is up to you. I mean, you saw me go up here And you saw me add my two taxes together and came up with 17%, right? Well, as the additional, so I hit, all right, now I'm getting myself all over the place here because my mind is going in several different directions. All right, let's back up here. I went and I added the 7% and the 10%, and I multiplied the 4,000 by 17% and came up with $680. Then I took the 4,000, added 680 plus my 30 to get 4710. As a further shortcut, because I use this as the shortcut, right? I could have taken the 4,000, multiplied it by 7%, came up with $280. I could have taken 4,000, multiplied it by 10%, and had $400. Then I could have taken the 4,000 plus the 280 plus the 400 plus the 30 and come up with 4710. But instead, I chose to add the 7% and the 10% together and had 17%. So I only did one calculation here, and I only had 3 numbers to add together instead of 4, like over here. Okay, so what's happening here is there's an efficiency factor here. I'm taking less time to do the problem because mentally I can add 7 and 10% really quick, and I have less numbers to be punching in, so I'm less prone to make mistakes. Okay, now I could have gone one step further here, okay, in efficiency, right? And this is going to have to do with right here. Okay, so I took and I multiplied out 4,000 by 17%, came up with 680, right? What I could have done is I could have taken the 4,000 and multiplied it by 1.17 and come up with 4680. Okay, and then all I need to do is just add the 4680 and the 30 to come out with 4710. Okay, so you see, I'm adding one less number here. Okay, which means I'm saving a possibility of an error creeping in. But mentally, right, just like I took the mental shortcut here, I also mentally said, well, okay, I have to multiply by 17%, but this 1.17, that 1 represents the 4,000, right? 4,000 times 1 is 4,000. Well, 4,000 times 1.17, that's 17% greater than 4,000, which gives me the 4680. Okay, so even though this is a relatively simple problem, using the 2 different taxes, you see how many different ways I went about doing the problem. Okay, and the only reason why I could have taken any one of those alternatives is because it was asking me for the total purchase price. It wasn't asking me how I did it or how I was showing it on an invoice or whatever have you. I mean, if it had said show the sales tax and show the excise tax, well then yeah, I would have done it this way. Okay, but because it didn't, then that allowed me to do it either this way or one step quicker and done it this way. Okay, so if you don't understand that, go ahead and watch 1919, that word problem, or pause and rewind and watch this video again. And if you still don't get it, then feel free to contact an instructor. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Summary practice S3. All right. The market value of a home in Boston is $365,000. The assessment rate is 40%. What is the assessed value? Okay. Look at the terminology we're using. Market value. I could have called that retail value. Okay. Value is, so my retail is this. The assessment rate, my sales tax rate, I could have used that terminology. Sales tax rate is 40%. So what is the assessed value, or what is the sales tax, right? Okay, it's this, I'm buying something for $365,000. I could have thought conceptually, all right, oh, I'm going to pay tax on it. Well, what's my tax rate? 40%. Even though that seems high, it doesn't matter what that number is. 365,000 times 40%. Okay, and that gives me my assessed value. 365,000 times 40%, and that gives me 146,000 as my assessed value. Okay, again, retail, sales tax, sales amount, right? Sales tax amount. The only difference is we're using just different terminology because we're talking about a home instead of buying a sweater. Okay, we're talking about its assessment. We're not talking about what you're actually going to pay, but the concept and the idea is still the same. All right. Two more problems. Okay. Yeah, I'll continue on and punch this out. And so Jan County needs 910,000 from its property tax to meet the budget. Total value of assessed property in Jan County is 18 million. What is Jan's tax rate? Round to the nearest 10,000ths. Express the rate in mils to the nearest tenth. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to stop here because I realize that I still have 3 more problems to go, and they're probably going to get just as difficult as these. So I'm going to make another video and stop here. All right. See you then.